Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you stopped by today. We are in the tunnel. Y'all, it's another beautiful day in the state of Tennessee. This is the last couple of days where the temperature is going to be nice. It is like 67 today. It's not sunshine. It's kind of overcast, but there's no wind blowing. It's very pleasant. And so today, I got a special guest. It's really my husband. Today, my husband is with me in the tunnel. Y'all know he take off in the fall and the winter. I'm just playing. He is back, y'all. I know people's like, you don't let him get on camera. Look, this man be busy. Anyway, we are both in the tunnel today, and we're just doing a lot of things that need to be done. It ain't sexy work. It ain't busy work. It's just necessary work. So we are like cleaning up the tunnel as much as we can. We've had like dead plants. I've already watered. I am fertilizing my plants. If you saw in the last video, some of my crops are looking like they need some TLC, so we're going to give them some TLC today. I'm also going to plant the rest of my spring crops. I'm going to pull out dead stuff. So what you've missed is that I've already watered everything in the tunnel. What I'm going to do next is go through, get rid of like yellow leaves and pull up any plants that are no longer good and clear that out. So that way, when it's time to fertilize, we're not fertilizing things that we're going to pull up anyway, or fertilizing things that are already dead and things like that. So there is a method to the madness, but I hope that wherever you're joining from, that your gardens are doing well. If you have not seen one of the last videos, I am doing a weekly seed starting challenge. Every single week on this channel, we are starting seeds from now until our estimated last frost date. And for those in zone 7B, that is April the 20th. So I want you to make sure that you subscribe, you follow along for the weekly seed starting challenge. Ideally, there will be a new video every Monday talking about specifically around seed starting and the seeds that I'm starting that particular week. So let's get to and go around and see what we need to pull up, what we need to harvest, get dead leaves off of, and all of that stuff, and I'll take you along with us. One of the things that makes the greenhouse look a little bit messy is that we have all the frost cover on the ground. And I'm not ready to pull it up yet because, y'all, it's still February. So it's supposed to be cold next week. I think it's supposed to be, the highs are going to be in the 40s and the lows maybe like low 30s, which they can still stand to be without frost cover at those temperatures. But in case the weather dips again, it's still February. It just happens to be nice this week. I don't want to go ahead and bundle up all the frost covers and put them away, and then we're going to need them. So for now, we're just going to leave them on the ground. And when we feel like it's really going to be warm enough throughout, then we'll pull them up. So what we're going to do now, what my husband has been doing is kind of just clearing up some of the beds and stuff on the ground, taking out some of the dead plants. He's done that and getting up all the clips and things like that. I'm going to harvest the rest of the Brussels sprouts that we have. I was out here yesterday and harvested a small basket of Brussels sprouts. No, I tell you what I'm going to do next. I'm going to actually plant the rest of the stuff next because that stuff will need fertilizer. So we'll do that. We'll plant the stuff and then we'll get rid of all of the dead stuff at the same time. Okay, so after we start pulling out all of the dead debris and stuff out of the beds, I'm now getting ready to start planting the rest of this tray, which are the last of my spring crops. So I'm kind of deciding where I'm going to put things. The first thing that I'm going to start planting is broccoli, and I've decided to just put it in the same row where broccoli was before. You can see I have a couple of smaller plants there that you're going to see me pull up. Those are Brussels sprouts that did not grow to maturity. Either I put them in the ground at the same time as the other ones, or I put them in the ground late. I can't remember, but either way, I know that they're not going to make it and grow to maturity before the summer because they take about 4 to 5 months. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull up the little ones that's small so I can clear space for the broccoli that's going to go out. The broccoli hopefully should be ready to be harvested before the summer crops. So I'm excited to have more broccoli to put in my freezer. This is the first season that I've been able to grow broccoli successfully. And so we have been eating on it, and I think I have 2 more bags left in my freezer, and that's it. So if I can get this broccoli to maturity before it's time to put out the summer crops, that is going to be a huge win. Okay guys, I have all of the plants in their respective places. So that whole tray is empty. That's the tray that we had 2 videos ago, and I was going to finish it that night and something happened. I didn't get a chance to finish it, but now I can officially check it off. It's done. All spring crops are in the ground. That is the last time we will plant spring crops in 2025. The next crops that we will actually be planting will be summer, and that'll be in April. So that feels good to get that done. And let me show you. So basically, I put the broccoli all along here. That's where broccoli was before. If you can see that there, which it might be hard for you to see, but trust, there's broccoli right there. And then there in that little open space is where I have the cabbage that I put. So we planted 1, 2, 3, 4 cabbages right there in that opening right there. And then let me take you over here to where we did the bok. So we put about four bok choy in this bed here to grow as well. That's where the bok choy was before. And then you can see that this bed is completely empty. You see how my husband has lined up all of the clips. So instead of them being on the ground, they're all lined up on that bed right there, so we know where they are, so that we know where they are in case we need to use the frost covers again. And then over here, we cleared out the cauliflower bed. You can see that most of that bed is gone. There is nothing in the back except some snapdragons, which my snapdragons are not looking real great right now, but I'm gonna leave them another couple of days and see what happens and see if they get better. But that bed is clear. So let me tell you what's gonna happen now. So on this channel a lot, I talk about organization, efficiency, and intentionality. Those are the 3 things that I'm always striving in my garden spaces. It's to be efficient, organized, and intentional. And so with that comes, I plan, I think ahead. And one of the reasons I do that is because this is not my full-time thing, right? So I have a full-time HR consulting business. The garden has become its own business. So I'm running 2 businesses, but it is on the side versus the HR consulting business right now is the main thing. So I don't spend all day and every day out here. So because it is not my full-time job, I have to have systems in place. I have to be organized, and I have to be efficient. Why am I saying all that? I'm saying that because I want to talk to you about these spaces that are empty, and I am leaving one empty on purpose. So the cauliflower, everything that was in there looked bad. The worms had eaten it, something had eaten it. And so I went ahead and pulled it out. I also had some very brand new Brussels sprout plants that were probably left over from like a time or so ago, or that just never grew to its full stature. I went ahead and pulled those out. Why? Because I know that the Brussels sprouts are not going to mature in enough time before I need these beds for summer crops. So when you're thinking about your garden spaces, especially when you're planting all year round, like me, I'm planting 24/7, 365. I'm always thinking about the next season ahead. So I know for me, I will be planting my greenhouse in the latter part of April. I will plant my outside spaces probably like mid-May. So I am already thinking now, okay, when it's time for me to plant my summer crops, I want to, when I say be done with this, like I want stuff to be at its full maturity. I want to be able to harvest and then take it away and then plant my summer crops. Now, it is not always perfect, but one of the things that I hate is that something is in the middle of maturing. Like last year, remember I had a whole bunch of cabbages that either I was going to have to get rid of or wait and delay on planting my tomatoes, which I did not want to do. And so you find yourself sometimes in that quandary and dilemma. So if you're doing a spring garden, I want you to be thinking about your summer garden at the same time that you're planting your spring garden. So that's the reason why when I did my spring planting, I did not do cauliflower. I did not do Brussels sprouts. I did not do any of that because I know the maturity date on those is 100 to 120 days. I don't have that much time. We are in February. If I excuse me, if I were to plant that stuff out now, it would not be ready until like the end of May. And by then I would have missed a great opportunity to have my summer crops early, and the temperature would have escalated and we would have had burns, worms, bugs, insects, and all of that eating up the crops. I'm telling you this because I am doing this garden planning workshop class, and I have heard from some of you that, hey, I don't need that this time, and that's okay. But I want to make sure that if you're not taking my class, that you are garden planning, that you are planning your spaces before you plant. That is how you're going to have abundance, and that's how you can be intentional about your spaces. That's a long way of me saying I'm leaving this cauliflower bed empty because I am saving room for either my potatoes or making sure that I have space to do some early crops in April for the summer. So I'm not going to even think about replanting this bed. So when it comes to my potatoes, I haven't decided yet because I'm still finalizing my own personal garden plan. If I'm going to do them out there or if I'm going to do them in the tunnel. So I'm doing some Yukon Gold potatoes, and I think I also ordered russet. I can't remember. If you haven't ordered your potatoes, this is the time to order them. So I ordered my potatoes from Wood Prairie Family Farm. You can pick the shipping date that you want. So even though I ordered it, I don't know, last month sometime, obviously they won't be here until it's right for my zone. Which for me, I usually plant my Yukon Gold potatoes, I think mid-March, if I'm not mistaken. And then they'll be ready by June. They usually have a 90-day maturity. So if I plant them mid-March, April, May, yeah, mid-June, they'll be ready. So I need to think about that if I want to put my potatoes out here, because that means I won't be able to put a summer crop out here until June, right? Then as I'm starting seeds, if I'm starting seeds, pepper seeds in the next couple of weeks, that's what I'm doing, I need to be thinking about, do I have spaces to put the peppers? Right? Hopefully that's making sense. My whole point is be intentional and plan out your spaces. If you want to come to the garden planning workshop, the link is down below. If you don't want to come, make sure that you're still planning your spaces, because I guarantee you, you're going to be hit with this summer like, oh my goodness, I didn't maximize my space, or oh, I have too much stuff, or oh, I have too little, because you did not plan. That is my PSA for today. Okay. Okay. So what is next? So we got everything planted out. So I think next, the other bed that's empty is where the carrots were. I was not going to plant more carrots. I have 3 bags of carrots in my refrigerator right now, but the Holy Spirit will not let me rest about these carrots. So I am going to plant more carrots, even though I really don't want to. And it's really just, I don't feel like it. There's no other good reason except I don't feel like it. And you know what? As a gardener, I know I come on here and I'm all excited, enthusiastic, but sometimes I just don't feel like it, and I don't feel like it. But we're going to do it anyway because the feeling will not let me rest, and I am learning, I am trying to obey the Holy Spirit. So let's go over here and plant some carrots first, then we're going to fertilize. Okay, so I'm getting ready to plant my carrots. I've already wet the soil, and so what you see me doing here now is this digging a light trench. Not too deep because the carrot seeds are really, really small. So just a pretty shallow trench. I'm going to do one on each side, and then I'll also do one down the middle. And then I'm just going to take my carrot seeds and plant them in those shallow trenches, and then we'll cover it lightly up with soil, and then we'll water it in, and that will be done. So I'll talk a little bit about this. The method that I'm using to direct sow these carrot seeds is what you call broadcast sowing, and I'll explain and show you exactly what that looks like. But for now, I'm just getting the bed ready to have the carrots. Okay, y'all, I'm just out here happy-go-lucky. I done got my second wind and just realized it's about to be dark in 15 minutes. So let me speed through this. So I am planting Bolero carrots. This is the kind that I planted last spring. The difference is that the ones I planted before were pelleted. These are not pelleted. They are regular seeds. This is not my preference, but this is what I have to plant. I planted all my pelleted seeds, and pelleted seeds are only good for 1 year. So therefore I didn't buy any anymore. But this is, of course, what carrot seeds look like. They're very, very small. So the difference between pelleted seed and this is that I'm going to do what we call broadcast sowing. All that means is that I'm going to like sprinkle it and broadcast. And it looks like I don't even have that many. Okay, so basically I am going to sprinkle and just broadcast sow this. Just have enough for a couple of rows. I made 3 trenches, but I don't even think I have enough. Which I have more carrots of a different kind, so I may do those since these are what I would consider extra, so to speak. So let's see if I have enough for this side. Okay, so all I did was lightly cover them with soil and then I watered them in. We'll see what happens. So the difference, these carrot seeds that are not pelleted like regular carrot seeds are easy to plant because you just broadcast sow like I was showing you. There's no rhyme or reason. So it's easier on the front end, but to me it's more difficult because you have to go back and thin these carrots out. If you're not getting big carrots and you're getting little pencil sticks, and you're using regular carrot seed, more than likely you're not thinning them out, which means you're going to have to go in and create space every 2 inches when they grow up to like maybe an inch or so or 2, then you want to space it every 2 inches and pull out the roots that are in between so that there's at least 2 inches between each carrot plant. That is how you're going to grow bigger carrots. With pelleted seeds, because I'm doing one individual seed at a time, I don't have to worry about that. So it's more work on the front end, meaning you got to be, bend down, and it's not the whole just broadcast sowing. But I like it better on the back end because as they grow, you don't have to do any thinning out. And then you guys saw I had a really good carrot harvest. But this is all I have of this. So I did a row on the left, a row on the right. I have more carrot seeds in the house, so I'll come out here probably tomorrow and just do a middle row of just some regular old carrot seeds that I have. And we'll see what happens. So now I'm going to fertilize, hopefully before the sun catches me. And I think we're going to be done. Okay, y'all, my backpack sprayer is broken. Something with the housing is cracked, so it is leaking everywhere. My husband told me that like right before he left, but he thought I could still make it through, but it's not working. So I'm gonna have to go find out and see if I have another one that came in the box with the one piece that is cracked, or if I'm gonna have to order another one. So no fertilizing today. I do have my other old backpack sprayer, but maybe I'll try to get that one going tomorrow if I can't find what I need. So that's a bummer on that. I had mixed up my stuff and everything. So to show you or to tell you what I used for the fertilizer, because I get questions about this all the time. With the fertilizer, what I have in there is Ultra, which is by AgriGrow. I use that all the time. I've been using it for 2 years. This will be my 3rd summer using it. It is great. It is almost like a probiotic for your plants. So it's not necessarily fertilizer per se, but it keeps your plants healthy. Then also I did 911 Revive. That's the name of the product. It is pure nitrogen. And so I did that because I have some yellowing of leaves. And then I also have Rev in there, which you can get it at rev.com. And so those are the 3 things that I have in there as soon as I can get my backpack sprayer fixed or transfer it to my other one. So you want to make sure that you have things on hand to fertilize your plants, to keep them healthy. That is all part of, you can't just put your plants in the ground. You got to fertilize them and give them the nutrients that they need. And your plants will tell you what they need by the signs that they're showing. So if they're turning purple, yellow, leaves falling off, whatever it is, the plants always tell you what's wrong. And it's up to you to figure out how to fix it and what to use. But that's a whole nother video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with hubby and I today. He was a busy little bee cleaning up. He had to leave, so we only have one little pile. Let's see. Oh, he already got it. Okay, I had one pile left, but he already took care of it. So it may not look like it, but y'all, it is much cleaner, as you can see, than it was before. And y'all, we say every year, man, we're going to keep this place clean. And, you know, when you're in the busy of the summer, you're working, you try to keep it as clean as possible. But twice a year, we always have to do kind of like, you know, a maintenance upkeep in between seasons. That's just the way it goes. But we're trying our best to keep it at least somewhat clean. And every year we get better and better with that being done. But anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Definitely subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. And remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. See you next time, friend.